You cry every day. That's what I did. Every day I just wanted my mom to be there.
They said Devin was in a bad car accident. And I woke up and I couldn't comprehend. I say, no, he's in his bed sleeping. And he wasn't. He was in a bad car accident.
Devin came to us by care flight from Springfield Regional Medical Center and was transferred here because they recognized he had some severe injuries and wanted him to get the care here at the Level 1 Trauma Center. And I would say that kudos to them for recognizing the extent of his injuries because he certainly needed the care here.
To look at his body, you would think nothing was wrong. He only had scrapes on his hand. It was like you couldn't see no bruises on his face, nothing on his body. So you wondering like, well, what is wrong? What is it?
So in Devin's particular case, he had injuries to his pelvis, which were quite severe and needed to be dealt with, but not in the immediate few hours after he arrived. He had a rupture in his bladder, and that was something that needed to be addressed quite promptly. He had an injury to his aorta, which we had to get consultants to see, and we had some of our vascular surgeons see him. Eventually, that was managed non-operatively. The bladder injury had to go to the operating room pretty quickly, and he went to surgery within an hour after arriving, and I did that initial operation. He was under my care for the initial few hours after he arrived in the hospital, and then he went to the intensive care unit, and he had a prolonged course after that because probably close to about a week into his care, he kind of deteriorated, and he took a real bad turn for the worse, and he was really close to death.
Every time something didn't work, Miami Valley tried something else and something else and something. It's almost like they was putting back a bind man. And they did it. With the grace of God, they done it. He died 3 times. They brought him back. They didn't give up on him. They didn't give up on him at all.
His intestinal contents were coming out from wounds in his abdomen. So it was a very complicated situation he had at the time he went home. He was sent to the outside to a long-term care facility, and I continued to follow him all throughout this period. So of course our care as a trauma center does not end when the patient walks out of the door.
But they never once stopped me from hoping. They never once that I tried to get the nurses to die. I'm a loving person, and I couldn't get to them one time to say it's no hope for your child.
Devin Moore had a large abdominal wound that required close surgical follow-up, and his surgeons eventually had to surgically close the fistula because the fistula did not close spontaneously. She continued to drain, so the surgeons were able to provide the services that he needed to eliminate the fistula and finally allowed the wound to fully heal.
So that was a complicated operation which we performed here, where we reconstructed his abdomen and took care of all the areas where his intestine was, abnormal, put him back together, restored his intestinal continuity, and he did quite well, remarkably well from that operation.
When Devin came back from Miami Valley Hospital surgical repair of his fistula, we were able to take the trach out, we were able to take some of the other tubes out, and then he began to have more active physical therapy, going down to the gym, going on the parallel bar, and getting him fully mobilized.
My son was here a couple days ago, and he stays in Virginia, and I was just so happy I could just spend that time with him finally out the hospital. And I finally walked down the street to a bakery, got my son some donuts, and I never walked that far. And I did it because of him, and I felt so good. I was like, I couldn't believe I did that. I really walked there.
That's the miracle of recovery. And when you're young, and he was young, and he had the A-team working with him after the accident, I think he was able to achieve that dream.
He was one of those individuals who people were really amazed at his progress and his recovery. And, you know, looking at him makes me and others in my team realize why we do what we do. And we're very privileged and blessed to be in this opportunity to be able to use our skills and expertise to bring healing to people.
I'm just so glad that I'm still here. I thank God for everything. I'm so glad my mom's still here with me. Everybody's still here with me. Thank God Dr. AK, the whole Miami Valley, for real, saved my life.
You know, and for them to be so involved with trying to do for him, I could not thank you. Because they gave him another chance to, you know, see what was going on in the world, and it wasn't time.
I wouldn't know what I would have done without Miami Valley, sir. It was so wonderful, you just don't know. I had my heart in the palm of my hands. And I went to Dr. Willisandi. You ever heard of him? He's a wonderful doctor. And his friend, I love him to death, Dr. AK. Wow. And they team, they had these young doctors and stuff. Every day, they never stopped. And I just asked God, please, get in their head, Lord. Do their hands. Make their hands strong for my child. I don't know what I would have done without Miami Valley. I don't think no other hospital could have done this. Not in Ohio. Oh no.